One more. There, go on. How you going? My name's McKeen. I'm a group photographer with News Local. Today we're going to be shooting the front cover for the Australia Day wrap, which is going to be coming out just before January 26th. With me I've got Angelica Schreiber, who's, by her words, a kind of okay wakeboarder. How good are you, Angelica?
Well, this year I just got voted the 2011 Cable Rider of the Year, so worldwide, so I'm pretty happy with that. And you know,
Number one in the world.
I travel every year to compete, so that's my profession and I want to make it my career.
Nice! So we're very lucky to have her with us today. What we're going to be doing is we're going to try something a little bit different. So what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be shooting Angelica as she goes round and round, hopefully with a Australian flag flying beautifully in the background, specifically for the Australia Day cover. Man, it's sensational! Okay, so photography has a lot to do about the equipment that you're using. Not necessarily the deal breaker, but there's a lot of tech geeks and everything who will always approach me when I'm out on jobs and ask me what sort of gear you're using, blah 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 blah. So just a quick introduction to what I'll be using today. It's the Nikon D3S with a Nikon 300mm f2.8. f2.8 means you can get a real shallow depth of field. The compromise is that you can actually get a very, very fast shutter speed. Why is that important? What I want to do is I want to blur out the background, the foreground, just keep Angelica nice and sharp and in focus, and a nice fast shutter speed is going to allow me to really freeze those water droplets if all goes well. As you can see, today's an absolute stunning day here in Sydney. Beautiful out here in Penrith. I reckon it's probably already about 28-29 degrees, and it's only about 10:30 in the morning. As you can also see, there's lots of kids here using the park, and it's a very popular place to come. So if you don't have anything to do over the Christmas holidays or school holidays, you can bowl down here and have a blast. So we briefly talked about some of the gear that I'm using. Another question that I get regularly asked is what sort of settings do you use? In this instance I'm shooting on aperture priority, which basically means that I'm setting the aperture and letting the camera decide on the shutter speed. When I'm using a very, very small aperture, large hole, shallow depth of field, it's providing me with a very fast shutter speed. Now a third part of that equation is actually the ISO. Now the good thing about the D3 and the D3S is that they have an auto ISO function. What that allows you to do is, especially when I'm shooting sport and when it could come down to mixed lighting conditions, it automatically chooses the best ISO rating for you to shoot on. So you can set in manual, especially you can set your aperture and your shutter speed, and it'll choose the aperture to give you the best exposure. What I'm doing here is I've just got it set on aperture priority, like I said. I've got an aperture of about f4. Which is nice and shallow, but not too shallow, and I'm also, that results in a shutter speed of about 1/8000th of a second, which is very, very nice and sharp, and it also provides a really crisp, clear water spray.
Go for the black one now!
So this has been a bit of a behind the scenes look at our photo shoot for the cover of the Australia Day wrap. If you've got any good photos of what you guys did on Australia Day, feel free to email them through to editor@penrithpress.com.au. Have a good time, have a safe Australia Day, and enjoy yourself.